Hey, how you doing? I hope everybody's doing great. This is a video for your final presentation. It's kind of, tips, I guess, just like the background says. Uh, so depending on when you're watching this, I may have gone over some of these things in class. And at the end of this, I will be talking about the questions about writing on the writing test. And like I said, depending on when you are watching this video, because I made it available immediately, like right after I finished this, I made it available to watch. So depending on when you're watching this, I may have talked about some of these things in class. I just wanted to let you know. But yeah, let's begin. Final presentations. These are presentation tips, just like it says in the back here, group presentation tips. So let's start. And here we go. So your final exam will be group presentations. You already know this. Your group can be a maximum of 5 people. Each student will have to speak. I've already talked about this, but I just want to make it clear. Here's a list of what you need to know. All right, so you should already have something. By the time you're watching this, you should already have something chosen. But I just want to make sure, just going over it to be sure. Anything from the book, including TED Talk, or teach me about your major. So in the classroom or on Zoom, but it's going to be on Zoom, each person will have about 2 to 3 minutes each to speak, or a maximum of 14 minutes. If no group is coming after your group, then if you need more time, great. Each person will be graded separately. Again, just like it says on the top, reminder. All right, the physical message. Now, for some of you who had me last semester, you may look at this and say, hey, I already know a lot of this. Well, think of it as a review of what you learned last year. Okay, physical message, what's that? All right, so you have the speaking posture, eye contact, I guess. I'm trying to think of a good way to say it. Gestures. So right, yeah, I have it here. Voice, posture, eye contact, and gestures. Like right now, I should be actually sitting up straight. And I know during some of my Zoom classes and videos, I didn't always sit up straight, but I will try to keep to what this says for this. All right. So okay, how loud should your voice be? Now, if you're giving a presentation in class, so you're in a classroom, so it could be for your major or something else, it should normally be about 150% louder than your normal speaking voice. And I'm trying to speak a little bit louder here and even in class, but not 150% louder, no, because we're online. But this is good, make sure everybody hears you, but it also, releases nervous energy and it shows enthusiasm. All right, posture, which is, I said I should be sitting up straight. I'm trying to, stay straight up, right? So here are some of the things that people normally do. 99% of the time, they don't know they're doing it. It's because they're nervous, that's why. So you have the pendulum. So again, sitting down, standing up, kind of going like this, right? The surfer, and I'm trying to match the pictures here, and I don't see the surfer, but I do see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, kind of just standing or sitting like this. I'm sitting right now. So then you have the hula dancer, that's more standing up. It's kind of like you're kind of going around and around, but that's more if somebody is standing up. Bird watcher, that looks like the second woman next to the pendulum. She's kind of going like this, right? Oh no, she's the stargazer, sorry. She's the stargazer looking up. He's the bird watcher looking out the window. Washing your hands, that would be her, you know, kind of always. All right, because I'm doing it now, but you can't see me. You might hear it, but you don't see it. And then the soldier, very stiff, like I'm doing it now. It's a little hard to see because we're online, but yeah, always at attention, always tense, very tense. All right, so eye contact, why is it important? Does the audience understand your speech? But you know, whether we're on Zoom or in the classroom, you're able to tell if I understand what you're saying. Of course, I'm the only one watching. Are they enjoying your speech? You can see it, you can feel it, and it shows confidence. And it also shows dedication. All right, so the next slide, I haven't changed this for the classrooms. It says practice, we're supposed to do this in the classroom, but you can do this with your group. You know, ice surfing. So pretending that one of you is speaking alone, the rest of you are the audience, kind of do what I'm doing right now, right? You're looking into the camera. And then if you start doing things like this, right, then the other members of your group can tell you, hey, you know, please look at the camera, or look at the camera as much as you can. So the next part is going to be structuring your presentation. So here's a very useful structure for planning your presentation, and it's called, now, some of you who had me last semester, you already know what it is. It's the numbers, right? 3 by 3 by 3. All right, so you have, the first thing to plan for is the overall structure, the general structure. What should come first? The introduction. What should come last? The conclusion. So what's in the middle? These are your main points. So of the presentation. And of course, every part will have an introduction, a main point, or points, and a conclusion. In the body, you should have 3 main points you want to communicate, right? And then remind them. So the last thing is to repeat, repeat, repeat. You want to repeat your main message 3 times. It's something that actually has been studied. And if people hear something 3 times, it's easier for them to remember. So basically, what will you say? What you will say, this is not a question. So think of the first part. What are you going to talk about? What you will say? Say it in 3 parts. And then remind us what you said, what you talked about. So that would be what you will say it, and then what you said. It's a reminder. And now I'm going to have some arrows showing you exactly what I just showed you now. And remember the main points, 3. That's why it's called 3 by 3 by 3. All right, now how to plan. So what's a good way to plan for a 3-member presentation? Now, most of you are in groups of 3. Those of you who aren't, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think I've changed anything here, I do have some ideas for that. If I don't have them, I will tell you in class. I did double check this. I'm trying to remember now, but anyway, here's an idea, because most of you are in groups of 3, that you can do. So you have the introduction. One member does the introduction. Each member presents a main point, and then one member does the conclusion. So I'm going to talk about this in just a second, but obviously these 2 students are doing 2 things, right? One is doing the introduction, one is doing the conclusion, and they're both doing main points. So obviously this student should talk a little bit more about his or her main point to make it kind of even, fair, right? And that's why you have her a little bit bigger, because what did I just say? The member who isn't doing the introduction or conclusion should plan to talk the most important point and speak for longer with more detail. So that student still talks the same amount of time as the other students, but the other students have already done 2 things. One has done the introduction main point, one has done the conclusion and main point. All right, again, this is just an idea. All right, another thing to consider is that main point can use the basic structure. Introduction, I talked about this also. Introduction, main point, conclusion, and so on. So each main point would have an introduction, a main point, and a conclusion. So remember, introductions and conclusions can be used to transition between members, and it is a good idea. So let me give you an example. All right, this has nothing to do with majors or TED Talks or the book, but it's just an example. So that is why smoking is so unhealthy. Next, Minji will tell us another negative point about smoking. Thanks, Sungju. Speaking of unhealthy, did you also know that smoking will... Okay, so instead of saying, oh, thank you, and then the next student comes and speaks, this is kind of transition, going from, let's say, going from A to B, going from Minji to Sungju, making it seem smooth. So there should be 3 main points to the body of your presentation. Smoking is bad for you because it's addictive, it's unhealthy, it's expensive. And of course, why should there be 3 main points? Why not 2? Why not 4? 2 main points are too few to be convincing. 4 or more main points make it harder for the audience to keep them all in mind. So by just keeping it to 3, it's easier for them to remember. So what is the basic structure of a presentation? You should know this. 3 by 3 by 3. Okay, there are 3 points to your presentation. The introduction, the body, those are the main points, 3, and the conclusion. Repeat your message 3 times throughout your presentation. So remember, tell them what you will say it, remind them of what you said. Okay. So remember the do's and don'ts. Do stand up straight. Don't sit, lean, or sway. Do make eye contact. Do not. Okay, I should have checked this 3 times. Yeah, don't go up and down or away, kind of, all of this. Just don't look up, don't look down, don't sway away, just make eye contact. Right now I'm reading it, which I shouldn't be doing, but yeah, do speak loudly and clearly. Do not speak softly or mumble your words. Do connect with your audience, don't just talk. And of course, invite questions and answer them by offering explanations. But of course, with me, I will not ask you any questions until you are done. And maybe I won't, I don't know yet. But also, it is a good idea when you are giving a presentation to, let's say, a classroom or a large group, make it clear, is it okay for them to ask questions during your presentation, or do you want them to ask questions, wait to ask questions until you are finished? That is something you should let them know at the beginning. Now with me, you don't have to let me know this. Any questions I want to ask, I will wait until all of you are done. So don't worry. I will wait. And of course, by answering questions and explaining more, it shows that you really understand what you're talking about and you actually researched what you are talking about. All right, so here are some more helpful tips. These are links to websites, and because this PowerPoint is in the class folder. How to develop effective presentation skills. The do's and don'ts when giving a presentation. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to now talk a little bit about the writing test, or the questions about writing on the writing test. That's the next one. So this might take, I don't know, a few minutes just to make sure that you understand. Okay. This is the final writing exam practice, the writing questions on the test. Okay, so there seems to be more questions here than normal, but this is a practice test, so these are the type of questions you are going to get. Again, depending on when you're watching this, like I said at the beginning, some of this may have already been said or done in class, but because some of you are watching it early and some of you are watching it later, I just want to be clear on what type of questions there will be. So this is small print, but I will be looking at my second monitor to explain what they are. So choose the best supporting sentence. Now remember, supporting sentence is what follows the main idea, the start. The start is usually the main idea because it is what you're going to be reading about, and then come these supporting sentences. So what do we have here? My favorite city in the world is New York City because of its tourist attractions, nightlife, and variety of food. So you have a choice of 4. You would choose the best one that would come next. Again, you don't have to do it here. And some of you may have already done this in class. And then of course, you'll have 2 like that. There will be a total of 6. I believe there are more than 6 here. So then you have choose the best topic sentence in each paragraph. Now on the test, I'm thinking that they're going to be shorter than this, but let me give you a little trick. Instead of reading all of this, read the next sentence or the next 2, maybe 3 sentences, and then you will have an idea what the topic sentence should be. This should give you an idea of what it is that this is about. So like I said, reading the next sentence might help. Reading the next 2 sentences helps you more. And I would go maximum 3 sentences, but by the second sentence, you will have an idea of what this is about, and you can easily pick the topic sentence. Now I'm thinking that these are going to be shorter, not this long. This is a practice test. So we're going to be doing this in class, or we did this in class, and there's time. Right. And yes, sometimes the topic sentence can be the second sentence. So here we have, for example, pasta is one of the most popular foods eaten around the world. And then you would have something else here that also would be the help this. And then, so as usual, read the first sentence or the first 2 sentences and you'll get an idea. You already have an idea what this is about by reading this. So if you see something this long, sure, read all of it. But my tip is read any sentence before a blank space and read the next 2 sentences after a blank space. And you'll know what it is that they're writing about, and that will make it easier for you to pick the topic sentence. So now here you will have to read the whole sentence. What does the following supporting sentence not do? Okay, but yeah, so you would read and it should only be 2 lines. I don't think it will be much longer. Then read it. Just think about, what is this doing? What is this telling you? What is and then here you would have to choose what it does not do. Again, I'm not going to go over the answers. We'll do that in class, or we did that in class, depending on when you're watching this. And I told you this. Oh no, this is 6. I just saw 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. So here, and I was clear about this when we did something like this in class, where I said, when you see something like this, like select the properly formatted indented paragraph. You don't have to read it. You just have to pick the one that looks correct. Now here I will show you the answer. So when we do this in class, you'll already know what the answer is, but it's super, super easy, right? Select a properly formatted indented paragraph. So already indented. So you already know it's going to have this. So these are the words. This is the line. The words are going to start here. So it would be number 2. Again, you don't have to read it to know. But just keep in mind that a paragraph looks like this. So they might trick you. They might indent, for example, they might indent this. They might indent this. So you have 3 that are indented, 1 that is not. If you see sentences like sentence stop, like a list, that's already wrong. That is not a paragraph. And something like this, where they're trying to say that, if they're trying to say that this is a new paragraph, it's not indented. None of it is. This is what a paragraph looks like. A paragraph also looks like this, but remember, the key word here is indented. So you're looking for this. And so again, this is what a paragraph looks like. And for the test, if you see the word indented, that's it, right there. All right, so I hope that this helped. And like I said, for the presentation test, some of you may have already seen this and you already know this because you had me last semester. For those of you who did not have me last semester, I hope that this helps. And of course, anything in the class folder, including the presentation do's and don'ts. Yeah, you can always download. You can use them or use it, the PowerPoint, for future presentations that you have in any of your classes at Yeungnam. It's always there for you. Don't worry. All right. That should be it. I really thought this was going to be longer, but there you go. I'll see you guys in Zoom, and I really hope that this helped you for your presentation. And of course, now you also know the type of questions you're going to get as far as writing. So again, let me back up. Now you know the type of questions you're going to get about writing on the written test. The other parts you already know. And just as a reminder, if you didn't get the message, there's an updated version of the announcement for the written test in Korean and English. I put it in the portal and sent, well, I didn't send a message, but you should have gotten it. I made it an important notice. And I also deleted the old one that I gave you and put the new updated version in the class folder. So portal, class folder, it's there. Plus, by the time some of you are watching this, you will already have gotten it in class as well. But I just wanted to remind you. So that's it. I'll see you guys in Zoom. Bye.